You've built your life here in the United States. You've worked so hard, and now, they're asked just one more piece to complete the puzzle, bringing your family here to be with you. It's the dream, right? To finally have your parents, your spouse, your children, or your siblings by your side. But what if I told you that one tiny, seemingly insignificant mistake on a form could shatter that dream, delaying it for years, or even leading to a heartbreaking denial? It happens more often than you think. Today, we're going to unwrap the most common, and most costly, immigration mistakes that families make when trying to reunite. And more importantly, we'll show you exactly how to avoid them, so you can bring your loved ones home the right way. First up, and this is a big one, filing under the wrong category. U.S. immigration law is like a complex family tree with very specific branches. There are different visa types based on your status and your relationship to the person you re-petitioning for. For example, if you are a U.S. citizen, you can petition for your parents, your spouse, your children, and even your siblings. But, if you are a green card holder, a lawful permanent resident, you can petition for your spouse and unmarried children, but you absolutely cannot petition for your parents or your siblings. Filing for a sibling when you're a green card holder isn't just a mistake. It's a guaranteed denial and a waste of time and money. The system is divided into immediate relatives of U.S. citizens who don't have to wait for a visa number, and family preference categories, which often have long waiting lists. It is absolutely critical to understand which category your family member falls into before you even fill out the first form. Always file under the correct relationship category. Get this wrong, and you're starting the entire marathon on the wrong track. Next, let's talk about paperwork. I know, it's the boring part, but it's where so many applications fall apart. We're talking about submitting incomplete or incorrect documents. Think about it from the perspective of the immigration officer. They have a stack of cases a mile high, and they need every single piece of evidence to be perfect. Missing a birth certificate, submitting a marriage certificate without a certified translation, or forgetting a single page of a required form can bring your case to a screeching halt. USCIS, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, rejects thousands upon thousands of cases every single year for what seem like tiny document errors. This isn't just an inconvenience. It can result in a request for evidence, which adds months to your processing time, or an outright denial, forcing you to start all over again. So, what's the solution? Be meticulous. Create a checklist. Double-check every single document. Are the names spelled correctly and consistently across all forms? Are the dates accurate? If a document is not in English, do you have a certified translation attached? Treat this step like you're preparing for the most important exam of your life. Because for your family, it just might be. Now, let's talk money. This is a sensitive topic, but in the eyes of us immigration, it's a matter of black and white. We're talking about misunderstanding the financial requirements. When you petition for a family member, you are also signing a contract with the U.S. government, promising that you will financially support them so they don't become a public charge. This promise is formalized in a document called Form I-864, the Affidavit of Support. To be a successful sponsor, you must prove that your income meets or exceeds 125% of the federal poverty guideline for your household size, which includes you, your dependents, and the family members you're sponsoring. If your income doesn't meet this threshold, your application will be denied. Period. It's an automatic disqualifier. So, what can you do? First, be prepared. Have your most recent tax returns and several months of pay stubs ready to go. If you know your income isn't enough, don't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. You need to find a joint sponsor. This could be another family member or a friend who is a U.S. citizen or green card holder and who does meet the income requirement. They would then share the legal responsibility of supporting your family member. Not being prepared for this financial hurdle is one of the quickest ways to see your petition denied. This next point is the most serious of all, and it's where people can get into life-altering trouble, lying or hiding information. It might seem tempting to bend the truth a little. Maybe you think faking a document will speed things up, or you decide not to mention a previous marriage, or you try to hide the fact that your relative overstayed a visa in the past. Please, I am begging you, do not do this. Immigration fraud is one of the most severe violations in U.S. immigration law. The government has incredibly sophisticated ways of verifying information and uncovering discrepancies. If you are caught providing false information or fraudulent documents, the consequences are devastating. It won't just be a denial. It can lead to a permanent bar from the United States for your family member. That means they may never be able to immigrate, ever. There is no statute of limitations on fraud. They could discover it years after a green card is issued and still revoke it. The best policy is always honesty. If there are complicated issues in your past, like a visa overstay or a minor criminal issue, the best approach is to be upfront, explain the circumstances, and provide evidence to support your case. A skilled immigration attorney can help you navigate these tricky situations, but they can't help you if you've been caught in a lie. Always tell the truth. Your family's future depends on it. Now, let's talk about the waiting game. For many families, this is the hardest part. I'm referring to ignoring or misunderstanding visa priority dates. As we mentioned earlier, some family categories, like siblings of U.S. citizens or married children of U.S. citizens, fall into preference categories. This means there's an annual limit on how many visas can be issued, creating a backlog. The date your petition was first filed with USCIS becomes your priority date. It's essentially your place in line. You have to wait until your priority date becomes current on the monthly visa bulletin, which is published by the Department of State. You can check this online at travelstate.gov. A huge mistake people make is assuming that once the initial petition is approved, the visa is ready. They might make non-refundable travel plans, or their family member might quit their job or sell their house back home. This can be a disastrous financial and emotional mistake if their priority date is still years away from being current. For some categories, the wait can be over a decade. So, you must regularly check the visa bulletin. Do not make any major life changes until the National Visa Center officially notifies you that your priority date is current and it is time to proceed with the final steps. Patience is a virtue, but in immigration, it's a necessity. Finally, a simple but catastrophic mistake: not updating your address. The entire immigration process is a long conversation conducted through mail. USCIS and the National Visa Center (NVC) will send crucial notices, requests for evidence, interview appointments, and final decisions to the address they have on file for you, the petitioner, and for your relative. What happens if you move and forget to tell them? Those letters will go to your old address, and you'll never see them. If you miss a deadline for a response or a scheduled interview, the government won't call you to check in. They will assume you are no longer interested in the case, and they will consider it abandoned. Case closed. All those years of waiting, all that money spent, gone. It's a heartbreaking and completely avoidable outcome. Anytime you move, you are legally required to notify USCIS within 10 days by filing Form AR-11, the alien's change of address card. You can do this easily online. Don't let a simple change of address derail your entire family's journey. Bringing your family to the U.S. is one of the most meaningful things you can ever do. It's an emotional journey, filled with hope and anticipation. But we have to remember that it is also a strict legal process with complex rules, tight deadlines, and zero room for error. By avoiding these common mistakes, filing in the right category, submitting perfect paperwork, meeting the financial rules, being honest, tracking your priority date, and updating your address, you can navigate this process successfully. Remember, the law is not meant to be a punishment. It's a system of protection, if you understand how to use it. Thank you so much for joining us on Law Unwrapped, where we work to simplify the law to empower your future. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next episode. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.